And good evening, folks, and welcome out to another edition of the Thomas Bachman Show here live from Walk-Ons on a Thursday night. That can only mean that it is 24 hours until game time. Excited to be here. Beautiful crowd that is in the place. We're going to look at the crowd here. We've got that camera that's on it. I don't mean to confuse our producer, but you see a lot of the guys starting to make their way in. Crowd has been here, Coach, for about 30 minutes or so, getting settled in and getting their tables. Again, it is the Thomas Bachman Show brought to you by Sadler's Towing. Sadler's Towing out here at Walk-Ons. Beautiful Thursday night. Coach Bachman, welcome aboard.
Yeah, here we go. Thursday night. Yeah, I was looking at doesn't even do justice, just that camera angle of just how deep it is. And it's a lot of fun seeing all the boys here. They've worked extremely hard, when we get to this point in the week. And so to see everybody just kind of sitting back and enjoying each other's company, building some camaraderie, the chemistry of things, I think that's extremely important. So obviously I enjoy Thursday night for a lot of reasons, but to be able to have this view and see everybody interact is part of the fun.
It is a lot of fun. Of course, my man Nick Magnano by my side over there.
Some more tables.
That's what we told them. We thought they had taken some tables out of here, but in fact they hadn't. They were squunched, I think was the word that was thrown around. But just a bit of housekeeping as well. 2 weeks from tonight is homecoming week. That is week 5. We will be on the campus over there having a cooking. Spoke with Hannah Johnson and that group. They're going to cook. Talked to him today. And so last year he made one pot. And boy, the line, you remember the line of everybody was there. So after the parade, you just go out there, come out and enjoy the show and hang out. So we will be on campus talking to a lot of the support personnel. We talked to the band, the dance line, the cheerleaders, everybody. Looking forward to that 2 weeks from tonight.
Perfect. Can't wait.
So going to be a lot of fun. Nick, what's going on, my man?
Man, I'm just chilling over here, Doug.
There you go.
Having a good time. No, it's a good night. Beautiful weather again. Looking forward to week 3.
It's a little warmer today. Coach Free, we went out on the practice field. Coach Free said something like, this is what I was afraid of. Beautiful weather, and now we got a little hot spell, but it wasn't too bad. I mean, there have been years where it has been blistering, and this fall has been incredible as far as great weather.
Look, you think back just a year ago at how hot and how miserable it was, and I'm so grateful for the air-conditioned folks at the press box who have that up and working. Actually had to turn it down the last time it was too chilly there.
Moving up in the world.
I never thought.
Got that wall, and did get an opportunity, just somebody – hey, appreciate all this that trying to do. I mean, it's the little things that become big things, and there's a lot of people, that are trying to really help where they can. And so, anyway, you mentioned the air. It seems like a small thing, and the little divider to separate some of the rooms and some of the soundproofing that's going on.
Right.
I know there's maybe bigger or nicer, fancy places out there, but we're certainly proud of what we got and what we've got coming. And so little small things like that add up, I know.
Look, click them heels. There's no place like home.
That's no place like home.
The home opener for the Trojans is tomorrow night against the Fighting Wildcats of Destrehan. We were able to talk to Coach Marcus Scott a little bit last night. We'll talk some more about that later. But we've got to recap things from last week. Before we do that, Nick, let's hand me those shirts over there too. We've got something here, and this, Coach, is for the somebody that's in the crowd, and I know there are only 2 of these shirts that are out there. Got the Trojan logo down in the name and all of that, and so we're going to give a couple of these away to people in the audience tonight. I don't know how we're going to do that. I've been trying for 8 years to get them to ask you a question, and they won't do that. So, what do you think? We'll figure a way out. We're going to have
I'm following your lead like we have for I don't know how many years. You tell me what's going on, and let's go.
Welcome to the team.
Yeah.
Nick's going to talk. I think we've got our Express Pros lineman that we'll talk to. Express Pros got on board, and they've rewarded. They've wanted to make sure, and we'll get to that in a sec. We wanted to make sure that because they don't often get exposure on there. So, and they're down in the trenches. So we're going to name our player from week 1 and week 2 that it was our lineman of the game. Okay. We'll have our Southern Air Cool play of the game, and we will have our Security Sporting Goods player of the game. And there are a lot of candidates for that, we know, but we'll name all of that, Coach. But Let's get into last week. We
Okay.
got up to Union Parish, and a lot of great atmosphere that's up there. They know how to play football. They know how to have a program. What were your thoughts on that Union Parish team and the way that your guys performed?
Well, I mean, as we talk, kind of heading into it, it's a program that's used to winning, expects to win, plays a lot of great competition, constantly playing up in classification. So, used to doing all that stuff, playing them at their place. I think they played for, I think it's 4 straight championships, won it last year. So just high expectations. You can tell that their players expect a lot of themselves, and their community expects a lot. And I think that's what we walked into and experienced. For ourselves, they were great hosts. I thought the stadium was just an awesome stadium. The way the field kind of was sunk in there, and it was in really great shape considering all the weather that we had gotten. It was wet and it was soft in some spots, but all things considered, you can tell that they've done a great job preparing that field and their players. And so every part of their program, you see the preparation for Friday night, and excited to come out of there. With a win. Certainly feel like we could have played better in some spots. There's as I think I said, I don't know, at some point last week, you watch the film and it's not about the scoreboard. It's, there's certainly always going to be things to continue to grow, and gives us an opportunity to go back and emphasize. And there were no shortage of those moments throughout that game.
Well, Coach, we talked to the PA announcer, and they won in 03. They won in 13, like you said last week, and then they won last year. So every 10 years, they've won a state championship. They've been in it multiple times. But you could just see the way they played on the field, how those young men, how that program, they never stopped. They were tough. They were physical. And although they were outmanned numbers-wise, they did compete.
Yeah, absolutely. One's a heck of a player. Two's a heck of a player. I mean, I'm going to start naming off, individuals and leave some of them off that are certainly great players. 5 seniors across the offensive line. Very good players.
And you see the style of offense, and there's a lot of it you see in that northeast section of the state. They like to get that ball. They like to control the ball. And it seemed to me that they were working on a Sterlington game plan, or Union Parish game plan is what they were doing, because they continue to stay in their offense. They continue to work against a solid defensive unit to get ready for what the future holds them, because they said, look, we could be looking at 4 losses and we expect to be in the Superdome playing for a state championship.
Done it plenty of times. They have certainly challenged themselves, and they do what they do. There's not a whole lot of I wonder what we're going to get out of these guys. And you look back through the years, they play physical football. They play extremely hard. But as far as schematically, hey, these are the things that we do. And over the course of the season, you just get better, doing the things that you do every day in practice. And then Friday night, you just begin to improve. And then you peak at the right time of year. And I think that that's a good formula for all teams, regardless of what your schematics a spread team, veer team, I team, whatever. Hang your hat on something. And they certainly, that's been their calling card. That's been their MO of what you see is what you get.
We look at the last 2 seasons on there, and you start the season 0-2 in those. Some tough matchups that were out there. It looked like you started fast this year, not only in the games, but in the season. And I know that's got to be important to the mindset and just the momentum of the year.
Yeah, I would take it back to the fall camp that we had. Practice is what I would attribute it back to. And, obviously the level of competition that we played, the past couple of years with opening with Karen Crow and opening with St. Thomas More, that's certainly a factor in it. But I didn't think we practiced real well last fall, dealing with the wet bowl and the heat and the not being able to practice. We were trying to do it early in the morning, 6 o'clock. We start school early. There's a forced cutoff time. And, the way that our coaches, the way that our players really embrace this, hey, when the bell rings, you're going to go home. You're going to come back. We're going to start meetings at 5:30, and we're going to go from 5:30 to 8:30 in the evening. And we were able to stay on schedule, and we were just able to really, really improve day to day, and stacked a whole bunch of days. And I thought that really it paid off for us last week, because last week we had to deal with weather. Tuesday was really bad. Wednesday, you're limited in some of the things that you get because it was constantly raining. And, there was a little bit of peace and a little bit of comfort of knowing that we had stacked a whole bunch of days, that we were ready, physically sharp to go compete, and that we could spend a little bit more time on the mental prep of things. If that, if you're not physically sharp, the mental prep is, if you can't take somebody hitting you in the face and you're not willing to
you're going to lose the mental quick.
It doesn't, none of it matters. But, just so far this year, that's really, really helped us, what I would say, hopefully early in the year. And, ultimately tomorrow night is another opportunity to go, put some of that on display. But I do think that's been the biggest part.
Talking about Union Parish before we move on to the players, but
and he got it right too. About 612 times he called them Farmerville.
Whenever
I've done it too.
I did not have gray, when I did not have gray hair, they were Farmerville High School. I'm sorry.
Gotcha.
So and that's when I used to follow high school football. 197 yards passing. Okay. 197 yards rushing, 229 yards passing. I mean, over 400 yards, balanced offense. Of course, JT led with 98, 2 touchdowns, and his first touchdown run was very impressive.
Yeah, I thought it was a balanced night. If you think back to the start, we're able to hit the jail screen with Jimmy, and that came really close to going the distance on the first play, but a huge chunk play right there. Kind of had a double call, let the quarterback make the decision at the line of scrimmage just based on numbers. I think we had GT counter with a perimeter screen. We're tempo into it, and we were able to take the perimeter screen, and Darius does what Darius does. He makes the first one miss, and it's off to the races. So we got 2 huge chunk plays right there to get us into the red zone, and then, we're able to punch it in. I think we had 2 counters and a quarterback sneak to finish the drive.
Look, it looked like they had came out, and you could hear the press box chatter too. At one point, you had 3 receivers to the top, and they had 2 DBs on there too. And you got to be, if you're Carson, you're licking your chops at that.
Take it, yep.
That's right.
Take it. Handle the wet ball. And yeah, no doubt. I mean, it's just a numbers game.
A lot of big plays coming up. We're going to take our first break of the night. When we come back, we'll talk about our Southern Air Cool Play of the Game. We'll name our Security Sporting Goods Player of the Game, and then we'll talk about our Express Pros. You had one job, and we'll do all of that when we come back. Come out and join us tonight live from Walk-Ons on a Thursday night. It is the Thomas Bachman Show, brought to you by Sadler's Towing.
Are home problems turning your life upside down? Trust Southern Air Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing to save the day. From keeping you comfortable to plumbing repairs and even generators, we do it all. Southern Air Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing, your one-stop solution for AC, plumbing, and generators. If you need us to save the day for you, call Southern Air Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing or visit us online at southernairnow.com.
Just haven't met you yet. I might have to wait, I'll never give up. I guess it's half timing and the other half's luck. Wherever you are, whenever it's right, you'll come out of nowhere and into my life. And I know that we can be so amazing.
To better serve our Senlaw family, Wallace Eye Associates proudly welcomes Louisiana native Dr. Nicholas Bro to the Wallace team.
I definitely feel very lucky and fortunate to be here with Wallace Eye and just to be practicing in Louisiana, born and raised and trained here my whole life. So I do feel very fortunate to be able to give back to this state that has given me so much.
When it's time for cataract surgery, there's only one team, one focus, your vision. Wallace Eye
Welcome back to Walk-Ons. It is the Thomas Bachman Show. Coach, we talked about our cool play of the game that's going to come up in this segment, player of the game, and our Express Pros lineman. But here, let's give our first giveaway away tonight. We're going to one of the females in the crowd. Let's do that. Let's find, and all they've got
Grace Mercer.
Where's Grace Mercer at? Let's look. It's here. You go.
She has food in her mouth.
Okay. So that
mute me, Brett, and I'll bring the.
She's going to be our first winner of that, and see how easy it is to win.
That's right.
That's a good thing. So one thing too, and Nick, if you'll hit that that switch on the, there you see Nick out delivering that too. There you go. We got a winner in the house. That didn't take much. Flick that switch a little bit too, and light it up some.
It's back on us now.
Yep, it's on. Nope, the other way. There you go. That'll work. See, we're getting things worked out on here, too. So our Southern Air cool play.
For the rice.
Look, and the lemon butter, what was that you?
Chicken.
Lemon butter chicken with the grits every week.
Grits,
and normally,
broccoli.
from season to season, you change it. But this has been a 2-year thing. This has been going on since last year.
Kim got it a couple years ago, I guess, when they added it to the menu. And, hey, when you know what you like.
And it's been there ever since. That's exactly right. Well, one thing that we like are the big plays that the Trojans have made. Let's let everybody at home, and we'll take a look with them as well as our Southern Air cool play of the game. Coach, and talk us through this one.
A little pin and pull scheme into the boundary. Anytime that the back crosses the quarterback's face, he has an opportunity to yank it on the backside. And, that's what he did. And then he did the rest. I mean, I know that's pretty simple explanation, but that's really the very simple, there's nothing out there to account for you. They fall asleep, yank it, and go do the rest. And he certainly did that.
His choice on it, his other choice not to keep that was
to the tailback.
To the tailback. Brett, let's look at it one more time and see that, Coach. You can see at the moment of it. And big thanks to Southern Air for that one, but you'll see Max Gassett there.
There's just nothing out on the perimeter. He makes the safety miss, does the rest. When he pulls it, really cool moment in the back of the end zone with his younger brother. Really cool moment that somebody was able to capture. Kim was showing it to me. Is that you? No.
No, it was beautiful. And you see it on a lot of the highlights, too. Nick, one of the things that you talked about, too, in our research on this was the downfield blocking on that as well.
Yeah, Jimmy had a great block on there as well. And it's just, the progression there of not just being he called the touchdown, as well, but he's also doing the dirty work.
Yeah, he's a senior player, very intelligent football player, loves the game, and when I say loves the game, like, really loves the game, loves to compete, and, give an effort. And, I think we've talked about this on the show. What's a great night for a receiver? I mean, Darius had a great night the other night. He caught 12 footballs. Well, we ran 50-something plays of offense. There's still a whole bunch of other things that we need you to do other than catch the football. And, the more we can get the receivers and all of them to buy into that, hey, work for your teammates, work when you don't have the football, the better they're going to be rewarded because they're going to have it returned to them, and the better football team we're going to be. So, those are always very encouraging things, and I hope it's encouraging for them when they get their effort grades.
We won't talk about the spinning of the football, though. We'll save that for the coach talk.
We might have already talked about it.
I figured you did.
But the thing I would say to him is, it was just a quick conversation.
That's right.
Like, come on.
Yeah.
Yes, sir, I know. And that's what you want. Like, if you're responsive, then all right, boom, we move on from it. If we need to escalate it,
right.
But you don't. I got it fixed, and he does. I mean, there's complete trust in him that that's not an issue as we move forward.
Being able to own things is certainly the key, and you love to see that. And this program is full of those guys that if there is a mistake, they're correcting it and they're going forward. One young man that didn't make hardly any mistakes, Coach, and you kind of talked about him a little bit earlier, is our Security Sporting Goods Player of the Week, and it's Darius Washington. 12 catches. Folks are seeing it on the screen right now. 142 yards. A couple of big ones in there, too. What's Darius meant to the team this season?
Yeah, he's I don't know. I'm sitting here trying to describe, he's Darius, there's just a complete trust in him when he's on the field. You just feel comfortable that, one-on-one situations, the competitor that he is, and he takes a lot of those 50-50 balls, even on the deep balls. He has the ability to go up and get it where, some people would say that's reserved for a bigger target. Tremendous route runner. He comes from a football family. Like he gets home or he gets back to his locker and his brother's got more notes for him, from watching the game and holds him to really high standards of, and it's telling the things that he can fix. So as far as what he means for our program, that example every single day, if I'm not satisfied that there's things to improve on in my game, it's a never ending quest to be the very best that you are. And I think that he's always, brought that to the table. And, you could even go, you see the 12 catches for 142 yards, but I mean, we start the second drive from like the plus 30. I mean, where the second drive is not a very long drive because he fields the ball and gets us in really good scoring position as a returner.
The couple of catches that saved 20 yards.
Yep.
Well, time you add on the run too.
Yeah, no, he's a weapon back there as a punt returner, and it's a point of emphasis, with the guys on the punt return team of, we got somebody dangerous back there. Let's not waste him. Let's make the most of the man that we have back there returning, because you don't always have that guy that you trust to go field the football. There's been years where you're holding your breath sometimes back there because you don't know. And I mean, I think back to the Sterlington. I mean, it seemed like that guy kicked that ball to the stars and, oh, that's Darius back there. I ain't worried about that.
Right.
Like he just, there's complete trust. And so there's not enough hour in tonight, not enough time in tonight's show to really talk about all that he means to the program and all that I think of him, and we all as coaches think of him as a player and a person.
Little inside joke there. We do have the correct pitcher of Darius. Last year, last year for about 8 weeks, we had the wrong pitcher, but
I think we had
I blame
Robinson's freshman photo.
I blame that on whoever was in charge of that last year and who got me the wrong picture on there. But I heard about it. My friend Roger that films for us used to film for Peabody and would film. And so he says, hey, you got the wrong picture up. And I wouldn't remember it until Friday night. Is when we would.
And we constantly had to have it up on the screen because that's Darius.
That's constant. Yeah, Darius just doing what Darius does is correct. Something new this year is from our friends at Express Pros. They do staffing here in town. And so if you're looking for a job, you can reach out to those guys. Or if your company is needing somebody to do the hiring work, go out and do that. If you're looking for that one job to do, check out the folks at Express Pros, and they're not far from where we're at here in Alexandria. But what they want to look at is oftentimes the offense-defensive line gets overlooked unless there is a hold or a false start or anything like that. So we actually have week 1 and week 2. Let's look at that, Brad. We'll pull up week 1 on here, too, after the fancy little graphic that's on there. And Grayson Thibodeau back from week 1, and let's look at week 2 as well. Peter Lofton and Coach, speak on your two linemen.
Yeah, Grayson
from the defensive side,
obviously plays tight end, plays both ways. Just a throwback football player would be the way that I would describe Grayson. Doesn't necessarily need much credit, just loves to play the game, loves to compete. Doesn't matter where you put him, whatever you need, coach, whatever you need, whether it's either side of the ball. And I think we talked about this at some point. Doesn't really care what the score is in the game. He's going to compete to a standard regardless of whatever circumstance we're in. He's just playing the game the way the game's supposed to be played, with passion and energy. And he's extremely physical. Like he's a thumper. Whenever it comes time to get that H-back, that fullback. I mean, he'd be an unbelievable fullback in a pro setting. He would be an unbelievable fullback.
Well, Nick loves this award because he's a lineman at heart. He was back in high school.
I'm gonna
have to bring him my yearbook and show him that I wasn't a lineman, but I do. It's one of my favorite parts of the game.
It's the best part of it. It's the best part of it. Told him today in the meetings that all these other guys get all the credit. They get their name said. This is where football's played with these guys. And y'all keep doing the dirty work, and they do, and they embrace it. And I love that we have this so that they get a little moment in the sun. But certainly wish we gave them more time because they are they're just so fun to be around.
But watching them from August, your offensive line, that is, watching them from August till now, and I went back this week and just kind of clicked back on August 9th just to make sure I was remembering it correctly. But I think that group has grown the most in a month because I mean there were some practices, Coach, where you were there, you were right
Yeah, I
there.
mean, and they'll tell you it's that way every
Yeah.
day. There's no telling. Sometimes it's like, I wonder what they would say. I wonder what they went home and said today because
Yeah.
we're challenging them, and it gets pretty. I mean, y'all came out to practice.
Right.
I mean, and they embrace it
Mhm.
and they respond to it.
Sure.
And that's the greatest thing about it is that they take all that. Being told the truth very directly
Sure.
about the performance of that particular play.
And
Harshly would probably be a accurate description. But they embrace it, and I don't know if we've jumped on to week 2, but I know y'all are fixing to put.
we're gonna have a segment coming up out of here where we let Nick talk to a couple of the linemen that are coming.
Well, we need to
Peter,
talk
did we
to
ever get to
Peter.
Peter
Yeah, we didn't get
Lawson?
to Peter.
I know
Oh, we
Second
didn't. No,
yeah.
we didn't talk to Peter. Yeah,
Yeah.
well, let's put Peter back up on
Right.
there too,
So
and we'll take a look at him.
Peter's,
Yeah,
sophomore right tackle for us, and just couldn't be more excited. Peter's got a chance to be one of the greats. I mean, physically gifted, intelligent, super excited about what he is right now. But man, seeing the potential that he has,
and he handles correction well. Is that what you?
Monday was an interesting one, and he's probably a little upset with me, but he responded, and
Right.
I mean, we were able to get into some things later in the evening, and yes, sir, I see it, I understand what you're in. Just really, really excited about the here and now and the future. The fact that we're going to play a whole bunch of football with him right there.
And you got to have him there too,
very
because
comforting.
you've got 3 seniors that
Yep.
handle the middle of it, a junior on the left, and then the sophomore here. Those guys are having to grow up into it because they're going to be, counted on.
Yeah, and we got some other young ones that we feel really good about. Some of them have been banged up. Jacob Davis is going to be a really good one. Jaden Clemens is going to be another one. He's got a broke hand. He'll be back with us here before long. Another 2 guys in that sophomore class. There's others. Not,
That's
here
right.
trying to start.
You start
saying
naming,
names
you're going to start
right.
forgetting.
We've had some, just some guys that have been nicked up and are recovering and getting back in uniform. But yeah, you're right. Going to graduate those 3 interior, but we're not close to the end of the season.
That's
so
correct. There's a bunch of football.
Talking about we get to play with this group for
this is his growing up alongside of those
right.
is what you like to see.
And we've always had a good mixture of that through the years of, there's guys to pass the torch to. I can remember when Calderon got in there, he was a sophomore. And then, our first years here, Jared Bird and Eric Alvarado and Austin Parker were 3 sophomore starters. And then they graduated and kind of passed it on to Cole Jean-Song. And
Cole
Dylan
got a start
Dozar.
as a freshman up in Washita, if memory serves me correctly.
Correct.
And
Week
then
10,
never left. Never left
Week
there.
10, he got a start, and just what they were for the offensive line, the example that they were. I don't know. Man, been very fortunate, and I know we're spending some time on this.
It's okay.
We got other things, but thinking back, Cole was been at some of the freshman games. Coach Ham and him are really close.
Right.
Coach Ham back on staff with us.
Very spirited.
Was talking about. I was talking about Cole with some of the coaches of all the players that we've coached, and you sit here and think to make a statement like this, man, we've coached so many that fit this, but as far as tough and competitive, he's certainly up there with the best of them. And Dylan, who's starting down at McNeese, and what they were for the offensive line, passing it on. Then Cam Calderon,
Goodman, all those guys. Yeah, that's right.
Now these 3 that are seniors. Jacoby's been playing since he was a sophomore. Now Pete has a chance to be the one that that they pass it off to.
Right.
Hey, man, you got to continue to uphold the standard of this group and the way that we play and all that
so
stuff.
Good.
So we'll see what happens.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it. Coming up out of the break, we are going to let Nick sit and visit with a couple of the defensive linemen. We'll do that. He didn't know that yet, but that's what Omaha they call that. But they'll let him stay with his guys there in the trenches. It is. Guys, still got 30 minutes to come out and join us. We are live here at Walk-Ons on a Thursday night, 23 and a half hours until kickoff. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. You are watching the Thomas Bachman Show, brought to you by Sadler's Towing, proud sponsors of the Sadler's Towing Scrolling Scoreboard. When we come back.
Wherever you are, you're there for a reason. You shouldn't have to make a trip to the branch to deposit a check. Skip the trip and use our mobile app to easily and securely deposit checks right from your phone. Day or night, wherever you are, or whatever you're doing. Download our mobile app today.
Hi, I'm Kimberly Harrell, Certified Residential Appraiser. I am currently a leading provider of appraisal services for mortgage lending, employee relocation, estate planning, and community property settlements. My experience in real estate over the past 13 years and currently serving as president of the Greater Central Louisiana Realtors Association has given me a clear understanding of the real estate world and the ever-changing market we live in today. For any of your valuation needs, give me, Kimberly Harrell, a call.
Are home problems turning your life upside down? Trust Southern Air Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing to save the day. From keeping you comfortable to plumbing repairs and even generators, we do it all. Southern Air Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing, your one-stop solution for AC, plumbing, and generators. If you need us to save the day for you, call Southern Air Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing or visit us online at southernairnow.com.
And welcome back to Walk-Ons here in Alexandria, Louisiana. We're now joined by Elijah Nelson, who's right here to my immediate left, and Jordan Mason, who's to my far left there, and was number 94 and 92. Now it's 92 and 12. Man, you changed that. You changed it on me last year, but you know the thing about these two young men is they have a constant motor. You guys are constantly working, constantly doing a lot of things. It's been a pleasure to call your games this season, and then obviously last year. Senior year, Elijah, what's different this year than last year?
Well, I say the intensity, like just going to practice and just preparing, is way different, in my opinion.
Because of being a senior, is that what you're saying? Okay. What about you, Jordan? What's the difference?
Yeah, I agree. The intensity, and then wanting to be there, as players and stuff. Yep.
So, one thing you're going to notice here that if you watched last year, Elijah, how much weight have you lost from last year?
I'll say about 25 pounds.
20. That's it. Okay. All right. I would have thought it would have been a little more, but you're definitely a little slimmer and a little quicker off the line. Why the change in the number?
Really, because truly, look, 95 too big.
So,
really.
So what about the other guy that wears number 12? Won't you talk about him since he hasn't been able to play this year on offense?
Bulletin, like we real close.
Good.
Really, I know I would because I know he wasn't able to play this year, so I had him just work from him.
So, favorite position on the line, Jordan? You like the nose? You like tackle? What's your favorite position?
That's a good question. Actually, it's hard. I like tackle more.
Do you? Okay.
Yes, sir.
So I watch a lot of y'all's practice film. I've been able to get out and watch a couple of practices, and You guys, y'all chirp a little bit to the offensive line, and especially down there on the goal line, and it's a lot of fun to watch. But you definitely bring the intensity, and I will say that I think the intensity that you guys have brought up front has really helped that offensive line, because they replace. I know you guys replace some too, but y'all have more experience coming back than what the offensive line did. So talk about expectations this year for the season. I know we're focused on Destrehan, but what's something, Elijah, expectation that you have for this year?
Really, I'd say just knowing I played, not even just me, knowing the whole team, like we tried our best of every snap. We just executing and applying whatever we was taught at practice.
Jordan?
I feel like, us just being there, showing up, constantly being there working, play after play, it just dominate.
So the great thing you just hear, you watching this, neither one of them talked about individual. Neither one of them talked about, the end game. They talked about, play for play, game for game. So that's great. Talk about Coach OJ. What's something that we need to know, because he's coming on right after y'all. So tell us something. Tell us how he motivates y'all, or something that we don't know about Coach OJ. That's not a trade secret.
I'd say like him as a human being, he a good man, and I'd say like he don't treat us like we just players. He treat like sons. I'd say he gonna keep it real. He not gonna sugarcoat it with you. He gonna keep it. He gonna want the best out of you. He gonna make sure he get the best out of you every day.
What you think, Jordan?
Yes, sir. He pushes the best out of us. Me and him, we seniors, we like brothers. So, he look at us, he have actual talks with us, and it help us, push on our other teammates, and they just help us along the way.
I don't know if y'all watched the show the first 2 weeks, but I'm a big fan of the Olympics. Okay. So what I've done is I've asked each player, what's an event in the Olympics, if you watch the Olympics, that you like to watch, not necessarily participating, but what do you like to watch if you watch the Olympics? Is there a certain event?
I'd say the sprints.
The sprints?
Like the 100.
Yeah.
I like watching that.
Yeah, that's exciting to watch.
Yes, sir.
What about you?
I say the sprints too.
The sprints?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
exciting to watch. Yeah.
Hopefully by the end of the year, somebody's going to say, swimming or something like that. But everybody likes the track stuff, which I understand. It's fun. It's fun to watch. We're big fans of my family. We're big fans of the 4x4. That's a fun race to watch and everything. So let's talk about future. Graduating this year, you expecting you're going to try to play at the next level, or what's your plans after high school?
Like right now, how I'm feeling. If it come, it come. Like yeah, if I get the opportunity, I'm gonna take it.
Okay.
If not, I know I'm gonna be okay. I'm gonna be okay with not going to the next level. I just find me a good job.
Okay.
Yeah, with
Nothing wrong with that. How about you, Jordan?
Same, like if it come, it come. I'll be looking for it. I'm here for it. But I plan on working, going and find something along that line of work. Yeah.
Outside of football, what's something you're interested in that we may not know about you? Away from football.
I'm gonna keep real. I'm a born person, so outside of football, I be at home. I'm a dog person, so
Okay.
my dog. No, I got dogs.
Okay, what kind of dogs?
Pit bull.
Pit bulls? Okay. What about you, Jordan? Outside of football, what's something we don't know?
I'm waiting for this. I like to play basketball too.
Okay.
I can play basketball.
You can hoop, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. So do you try to do you play for Ash or no? No. Okay. I got you. So, well, guys, it's been like I said, it's been great calling you guys, calling the games for you all the past year, and we're grateful for you guys, what y'all do on the field, but also what you all do off the field. So, appreciate it. Good luck tomorrow evening, and I appreciate you guys coming on. And we're gonna have Coach OJ on here in just a second. So hopefully he'll tell us a few things about you guys that we don't know about. So you're watching Thomas Bachman Show on 446 Sports.
I just haven't met you yet. I might have to wait, I'll never give up. I guess it's half timing and the other half's luck. wherever you are, whenever it's right, you'll come out of nowhere and into my life. And I know that we can be so amazing. And baby,
To better serve our Senlaw family, Wallace Eye Associates proudly welcomes Louisiana native Dr. Nicholas Bro to the Wallace team.
I definitely feel very lucky and fortunate to be here with Wallace Eye and just to be practicing in Louisiana, born and raised and trained here my whole life. So I do feel very fortunate to be able to give back to this state that has given me so much.
When it's time for cataract surgery, there's only one team, one focus, your vision. Wallace Eye Associates.
Wherever you are, you're there for a reason. You shouldn't have to make a trip to the branch to deposit a check. Skip the trip and use our mobile app to easily and securely deposit checks right from your phone, day or night, wherever you are or whatever you're doing. Download our mobile app today.
Hi, I'm Kimberly Harrell, Certified Residential Appraiser. I am currently a leading provider of appraisal services for mortgage lending, employee relocation, estate planning, and community property settlements. My experience in real estate over the past 13 years and currently serving as president of the Greater Central Louisiana Realtors Association has given me a clear understanding of the real estate world and the ever-changing market we live in today. For any of your valuation needs, give me, Kimberly Harrell, a call.
And welcome back to Walk-Ons here in Alexandria, Louisiana. We're now joined by Coach O.J. Chatham, so defensive line coach. So, Coach, welcome to the show. I know you came on last year, and we just had two of your players on, and good young men, kind of soft-spoken, a little bit for defensive linemen. But hey, it's we had Elijah and we had Jordan on. So tell us a little bit about them.
I think they just a little shy.
I understand completely on this stuff. Believe me.
They have a lot more personality.
Yeah, we can see it when we're out there at practice. I tried to get it. Of course, I'm fairly new at this too, so maybe I didn't lead them as good as possible. No, they did a great job. Like I said, talk to us about Elijah.
Elijah's one I have a whole lot of respect for. Some of the things that he's went through, since he's been here at Ashland High School. His first practice as a freshman, he tore his knee up, had to have surgery. But I could see through that fall camp before he got in pads and all that, how intelligent he was and how fast he picked up on everything that we threw at him. So I knew one day, he'd be out there somewhere for us, giving us reps, and that's exactly where he's at now.
So,
Coach, talk a little bit about the progression this year that you've seen. I mean, we've talked about it a lot from both sides of the ball, offense, defense, trenches, skill positions. From that first scrimmage on, I mean, what have you seen just through the first couple of weeks?
I've seen a lot of growth. I expected our offense to be pretty good, with a lot of older guys, some returners, some veterans that's been out there in some big ball games. And then on defense, we knew we had a really talented young group last year and that they'd be thrown in the fire early. And they've just continued to get better each and every day. They show up to work every day. They're a group that's hungry for everything, hungry every day, show up to practice and put work in. And the older guys that we do have on defense have done a good job of leading those guys and leading them to where we want to be.
How'd you end up with Grayson on that side of the ball?
Well, actually, Grayson started off with me.
Oh, okay.
Grayson actually started.
So how did it end up on the other and then back?
Yeah,
Right.
so we had Jeremiah and all those guys, and Jeremiah was an every down player, and Wyatt back in the day, and so we looked at Grayson as somebody who could probably give us reps somewhere, and at that time we needed him on offense. So him and Doyle both started off as defensive linemen, and they went played other positions to help the team out. And graduating those guys that we did last year, we brought Grayson back, and he's been really good for us. And he's always been one that wasn't afraid of contact. He actually enjoyed it.
The last, and we asked Coach Bachman the same question too. The last couple of years, first couple of games, and granted, it was the opponents were just as tough as they are this year, but you guys have not had that slow start that you did. I mean, we fell behind in the first quarter, a couple of games, 21-0 on there. You guys have got off the bus, gloves on, ready to fight.
Yeah, we're just we're a lot older in some spots on the offensive side of the ball. And on defense, though, we spent a bunch of time with those guys over these last, couple of years, getting them prepared for what they're about to be in. And then that freshman group, they were freshmen last year, our sophomore group now, they played some big ball games as freshmen. We took them all over from North Louisiana down to Lafayette and let them play against some good competition. And so they're war ready, whoever it is, they're ready to spot a ball.
And spot a ball has been such a battle cry for you guys. And there's no hiding in the schedule. You look back at the schedule, and by no means can you look at it and say, well, they've won the first 2 games big. They've got to be against some inferior opponents. These are teams that are going to win a lot of games. So you guys are going out there and showing that all the work that you've done, well, it's paying off.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if your ultimate goal is to go and play in the dome and to bring one back, the motto has to be spot a ball. You can't be afraid of competition if you're saying your ultimate goal is to go down and win it all. So, I mean, no matter who it is, where it is, if you want to play, we'll be ready to spot a ball with anybody.
Coach, you have Jordan and Peyton Hobbs, kind of on the nose usually or at the tackle position. Their numbers don't quite show up, in the tackles, but what they do in the trenches, just talk about, how effective that is.
Yeah, I think their numbers show. I think you just got to look in the right place. Xavier has started off hot this year. He's got 31 tackles already, and I think that has a whole lot to do with what Jordan and Peyton have done up front with eating up double teams, right. Spilling and all that stuff. It ain't just them. We have I right now have a lot of guys that I have a lot of confidence in. They can go in and give us reps on a Friday night, and I'm really excited about the projection that this group has and where they can end up being.
What does that do for a player like Xavier that, X is looking at it and he says, look, these guys are going to eat up these double teams because they're going to be there and they just get to feast. And you've got guys that go to the ball on that defense. So that just shows you that D-line is doing exactly what the D-line's supposed to do.
Yeah, I think it gives them a lot of confidence. Last year he started as a sophomore, as he's learned the game more and more and he's begun to trust the guys in front of him, like it allows him to just get his read and go run to the football, and he's done a really good job of that so far. Really, really proud of how he's progressed.
We asked this question last week: who was the one that was going to hype the team up the most? And everybody you asked that question said the same thing.
Yeah, it's definitely it.
It's definitely it. And look, when you see him, he just seemed to us just so quiet and reserved, and like there's no way.
Yeah, he's another one. You get him in his element, he'll let you see that personality. He has a whole lot of it. He's one that, when you cross his path, when he leaves you, he's gonna leave an impression, and it's gonna be a really good one.
Yeah, when we were at practice and we heard defense on me, and I turned around and saw his 46. I was a little, taken aback, like, man, he's so quiet on the show and everything. But
he has a lot of personality. Everybody that meets him, when he leaves, they love him. He's one that I enjoy being around. If I could have him in my classroom every day, I would.
Coach, how do you prepare for a team without getting into X's and O that are going to come out very similar to what the Trojans run offensively, but going to have a lot of speed at the skill positions and certainly a very solid ball club in Destrehan?
Oh, I think you said it best. They're a lot like us in the way that, we want to attack on offense. And so I think our offense does a really good job of giving us looks when we see offenses like this. We got some guys out there that can run around, make people miss, and they're gonna get us prepared for what we have to see on Friday nights.
Well, we're looking forward to it. Indeed, we are, Coach. Appreciate you taking some time. You come to the shows all the time. We got to get you down here a lot more often. You sit back there and like your defensive guys are just quiet down there, but love your wealth of knowledge, and we want to have you back on the show quite often.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm good for about one a season. I've done one a season so far.
There you go. We got you in early. Coach, thank you. We're going to take our final break of the night. This hour is flying through, and we've yet to really talk about Destrehan. Before we do, let's get our final T-shirt of the night on there. We're going to give this one away. This is, okay, he's got it there, and it's our brand new one. I don't know of anybody that in a contest where nobody has to do that. Miss Sadler is going to be our winner of this T-shirt. We'll get that into the Sadler family, so she's going to have that. Coach Bachman will deliver that one. Guys, we are having a blast. We told you the place to be on a Thursday night. You see the delivery that's made right there. The place to be on Thursday night is Walk-Ons, where we are live for the Thomas Bachman Show, brought to you by Sadler's Towing. We'll be right back.
Wherever you are, you're there for a reason. You shouldn't have to make a trip to the branch to deposit a check. Skip the trip and use our mobile app to easily and securely deposit checks right from your phone. Day or night, wherever you are, or whatever you're doing. Download our mobile app today.
Hi, I'm Kimberly Harrell, Certified Residential Appraiser. I am currently a leading provider of appraisal services for mortgage lending, employee relocation, estate planning, and community property settlements. My experience in real estate over the past 13 years and currently serving as president of the Greater Central Louisiana Realtors Association has given me a clear understanding of the real estate world and the ever-changing market we live in today. For any of your valuation needs, give me, Kimberly Harrell, a call.
So what happened out there tonight?
We struck out at home with leftovers, then we remembered walk-ons.
What effect did the situation have?
Spirit soared. Nick took on a burger. Jen obliterated her ribeye po' boy. And speaking of spirits, Laura even scored a real tasty cocktail. She needed that.
Any lessons learned today?
Yeah. Head straight to walk-ons.
Scratch-made dishes, wall-to-wall TVs, craft beers, and cocktails. Walk-ons for the win.
This month, as we gather with the ones we love, let's take a moment to give thanks for the blessings in our lives. When it comes to protecting what matters most, trust those who care about your family as much as you do.
I'm Jason Hawk, your local Farm Bureau insurance agent. I'm here to help you protect what you hold dear.
Whether auto, home, or life, have peace of mind knowing that your family is covered today, tomorrow, and for years to come. So talk to Hawk at 318-791-HAWK or online at talktohawk.com and let us help you protect what matters most.
And we are back live at Walk-Ons on a Thursday night, Coach. Just 23 hours now to go until kickoff. We've yet to talk about Destrehan at all. Well, let's do that. What do you see when the Fighting Wildcats come out offensively?
Size, speed, talent, deep roster, well coached, sound, attack you, use their personnel, showcase their personnel's talents. Used to playing good competition, used to playing deep in the playoffs. I mean, it's Destrehan, you see what you've seen now for, I guess, a couple of decades.
Had a 33-game winning streak, regular season winning streak, snapped against Catholic on a late touchdown to start the season, too, before a big win at Bonneville last week.
Yeah, that's what you see.
Yeah. I know you and Coach Scott go a long way back, too. We were able to talk to him last night. Had kidney transplant surgery last year, and it's so great to see him back. Coach John Eugene, that played with him before, just had his transplant, so he's recovering as well. So great to hear that out of the program.
Yeah, great to see him back on the sideline coaching. Can only imagine what that was like, that time, for him, his team, his family. So the fact that he's back out there and coaching and doing what he loves to do is something obviously very excited for him that they were able to get that transplant and that he's healthy and seems to be rocking and rolling and many years of coaching still in front of him.
Coach, the challenge you're going to have tomorrow night, from what I've seen on film with your defenses,
speed.
Yeah, and contact. They don't go down first contact usually.
There's the reason a couple of them are, I guess, Power 5 commits.
Right.
And they're fast. They're athletic. They're well coached. What you see is that's a very accurate description.
This is a segment where you don't get a lot of talk out of him. He holds his cards close to the vest. So take us through Now, first two games you've been on the road, Jamboree, you were here, but now you get to go through the progression. You got that big home crowd that's going to be out. If this is any indication, you're going to see a bunch of folks out there at Butch Stoker Stadium.
Yeah, I'm anxious to see what the crowd is at some point. Hopefully I get a chance to peek over my shoulder. Hopefully it's an electric atmosphere. Enjoy being able to bring these type of games here to Central Louisiana that, we want to represent ourselves well. And I told the kids kind of that, as everybody asks you all these questions about, how you feel and this and that, and looking for insight. The one thing I'll sleep well tonight, laying my head on the pillow and knowing that our kids are going to compete, that they're going to embrace the challenge, that they're going to be ready as far as, when it comes to laying it on the line. Like, I just am not concerned that I know we're going to do that because I've watched it out of them every day, for many a year now, and ready to get into it. I mean, I know at this point in the week, meetings on Thursday are kind of like, all right, we've talked about this. All right,
It's just get to work.
and we kind of tell them, that at this point of the week, you almost want some of it to be boring, that you feel very, very, in tune to what's been presented to you. And, as you get into it, carry those things with you into the game. Obviously, there's always the on the fly in game adjustments and tweaks because they have film and they're coaching and they're adjusting and they've got a plan of attack too. And then it really gets fun. Just those in game, checkers, chess, whatever you want to call it, the little in game adjustments become really fun.
And it is to see you guys manage throughout the game. But here's what I'll tell the folks, and we tell them all the time. Don't watch our broadcast. Come out and do this. They've got an opportunity to see one of the best home schedules that I think I've ever seen around this area. You got Destrehan, you've got Manny, you've got Ruston, you got West Monroe, and you got Neville. And you can load up the state championships. If you want to see good football, Butch Stoker Stadium on a Friday night is where you want to see it.
Not a bad place to be.
Heck no. Go back and watch the broadcast afterwards.
Yeah. Please show up, show out. Support these kids. They've been working their butt off. They certainly deserve it.
Nick's 2-0 on his keys to the game, and he's been formulating on those thanks to Louisiana Athletic Club. We will reveal those tomorrow night and do that, but it certainly has been a lot of fun. Coach, as you're a couple of weeks into the season, the growth, and we've talked about some more, what is some of the things? We've seen Simon that's actually done just a little bit better on this year, but hold on, I've got. We're going to talk about him for a minute, but before we do that, we've got our first caller of the night, Coach. Let's see who's on the line. Who's there?
Oh, I saw it. You done wrote it.
Oh, you can't do this. I just don't know if he can hear us. Can you hear us?
Yes, sir. Happy birthday.
Oh, Lord, please, man. My birthday's
over.
Happy
birthday to you. Happy birthday,
you by yourself,
dear Thomas. Happy birthday to
my birthday.
Thomas, you're at the age now where and many more really means something.
Yeah, no, you're right, Dad. That just means that you got a couple on you too.
Look, just for those of you that are scoring at home, John Bachman Sr., the father of Coach Thomas Bachman, joining us by phone today, and a great friend of the program, without a doubt. And Coach, I'll tell you, they were singing along with you in here.
Couple of
I heard them. I tell them I appreciate it because I take care of that too. Now my wife can, but I can't.
Well, I think you did a wonderful job, and I've got to believe that's the first time we've ever had an on-air happy birthday sung out of that. So, Coach, I'll give you an opportunity to talk to your dad there for a minute.
Well, yeah, I guess we're getting this call started a little early. I'd be on my way home here, and I don't know, when we leave here, go back by the field house and then call him and what's up, call him. Really, we talk till we get home. So, looking forward to seeing him tomorrow night, Dad. I'm sure I'll get a couple things from you there right before the game, a couple things from you at halftime. And
so you're always there. Is there ever a point, Coach John, where you don't give him advice or tips, or is it always saying, hey, you ought to do this?
Listen, when Thomas calls me, he does not call to get advice. He calls to tell me what's going on. And I listen. I just like his players. I say, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. No,
You
he
know,
gives me a lot more advice than he's letting on.
Look, there are things, Coach John, that I will ask him about a game, and I won't get anything until Saturday or Sunday. And I see that filters through your family. There's not a lot of things that are given out on Thursday.
Yeah, no. I think it's called nerves.
Well,
there's a lot of
but I've
anxiety.
also always said if you ain't nervous, you ain't ready.
That's right.
Well,
But-
that's exciting, Coach. We appreciate you giving us a call in here too. If I had another T-shirt here, you'd be the T-shirt winner for being the best phone call of the night on there.
All
But
right.
we'll make sure we
We'll
get you
see
one.
him tomorrow night.
Yep. Look, you're always welcome up in the booth as well when you're in there. If you want to get away from the side, it's a pleasure as always. John Bachman Sr. joining us on here, the legend on there, Coach Bachman's dad, and we will cut up the happy birthday song and get that back on the air for you as well.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, there've been a lot of people coaching the state of Louisiana, a lot of really good football coaches. I think there's 9 in the state of Louisiana that have won a state championship at 2 different schools, and Dad is one of those 9. I think my numbers are pretty accurate. If you talk to him, you'd probably never know. He's always been a great example of what humility is, what servant leadership is. But, I always want to point that out, that there's very few that of all the 100+ years that this association is existed that can hang their hat on the fact that they've not only won it at one school, but they've won it at multiple schools. And, I think that shows to the ability to build and sustain a program. So love you, Dad, and I will talk to you very soon.
I love you.
All right, Coach John.
Just tell your listeners, God writes great stories. Go get the God stories.
Amen. Coach John Bachman Sr. joins us on the show, and I'll have you know that as much as I like setting things up, Coach, that was not one of them that I set up. I'm not going to divulge who did, Nick, but I'll let that. But the cat was out of the bag when the caller ID popped up.
Well, I didn't realize. I didn't put 2 and 2 together immediately. I saw it. I was like, oh, what's going on here? But no, that's awesome. I mean, I'll talk to Dad here very shortly. He's coming to the game tomorrow night.
Well, indeed, happy birthday belated to you back to Tuesday.
Thank you. Hopefully, I look forward to. I'll take that tomorrow night.
He says you're at the age where many more really means anymore. That's a wish. Guys, that's going to wrap it up. This has been our hour here this Thursday night, the Thomas Bachman Show. Coach, we're looking forward to a big, big night. Don't forget, as always, we tell you don't watch our broadcast. Show up. Show out, get out to the stadiums, wherever you're at. There's a lot of good games to go in there. There's a great one over there at Tioga, Pineville, Tioga. That's a big rivalry. Destrehan coming to town. They'll play Ash tomorrow night. We'll have pregame at 6:30. Kickoff will be at 7 p.m. Stick around for the pregame show. Got a lot of interesting things you're going to want to see. That should be a lot of fun, Coach.
Looking forward to it.
There you go. From my man Nick Magnano, head coach Thomas Bachman, Brett Stallsby pushing everybody's buttons. I am Doug Gann. God bless you all and good night.